Good morning, Facebook. Welcome to the Digital Coffee. I think I might make a trailer out of that. Hello, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. If you're joining us for the first time, this is your weekly dose of social media and digital marketing news for small business owners. My name is Amanda Webb. You are watching this as part of the Amanda Webb Spiderworking Facebook page. And hi Kate, thanks for joining. You're first here as always. I took your advice and I re-sang my trailer. I'm going to have to record it, I think, for next week. I mean, my sting. If it's your first time joining, you may enjoy this show. There's lots and lots of social media news this week. If you know somebody that might be interested in watching too, click the share button down there and you can share it in a group, a page, your personal profile. You can even send a direct message to someone, or if you want to get all sophisticated, hi Laura, you can water. You're drinking water today. Very good. And it is, because it's exceptionally warm, isn't it? If you want to get really creative, you could always share it on Twitter. Just saying. Now, there was so much news this week. I forgot to tell you what I'm drinking. Kate, is it tea for you? I have like this is one of my favourite mugs that I bought in Hay&Y a year ago because you can fit so much stuff in it. The downside is I forget. It's almost like, I don't know if you're with me here, but it's like you have a memory of how much tea or coffee fits in a mug. So once you've drunk a certain amount, you're like, you think you've finished it. Whereas in fact, with a mug like this, there's loads left. So often my idea that I'd have a whole mug of coffee that would go on forever, I never finish it. Terrible, isn't it? Anyway, on to off the strange problems of tea and coffee drinkers and mugs, and let's have a look at this week's news. Okay, we've got, actually, there was so much Instagram news. I am going to mention one thing that is possibly happening as well later on, but I'm going to stick with the solid news from Instagram. We've got a couple of bits of Facebook news, maybe just one, because I'm just seeing one thumbs up there. I thought there would be more. Snapchat did something cool. I don't know if you saw something that I kind of added to you today, Kate, because Kate is my guinea pig. Whenever I want to try something out, I'll send her something. Bit of Pinterest news, which is kind of exciting news if you're a food blogger, or if you're involved in the food industry at all. Twitter have embraced the bot. We will talk a little bit about that. And for the first time ever, does anyone know what this logo is? Boy, it's hard to draw because it kind of needed 3 shades of green and I only have 2. That is Medium. Medium, which is a kind of blogging platform crossed with a social network, and they've done something noteworthy this week that I thought I'd share with you. So I suppose, with no further ado, I should get onto the news. And I'm going to start with the Facebook bit because I think ultimately that's the network we all use the most. You'll be glad to know the postman has already been today, so I won't have that moment where I go, oh. It's already been. He brought me something nice. Do you want to see it? I got a book! So happy. Okay, right, onto the Facebook news. And I think this is one of the most interesting bits of news that Facebook, or the most interesting thing they've said in a very, very long time. You may know that kind of last week there were some leaks into what Facebook community standards were. The Guardian reported on them. I found it all a little bit boring. It wasn't really business related, so I wasn't going to talk about it. But after that, Facebook released this Facebook statement on integrity. I will post a link once this show's finished underneath. But what's interesting, it's kind of saying this is what we're going to show people in the news feed, and that's why it's important for for business owners. Now, most of this stuff, common sense, but it's really nice to know Facebook are paying attention, that they are focusing on the things that probably matter. So the first thing that it wanted to say was that your content needs, whether you're a business or a person, needs to be meaningful and informative to your audience. You cannot be meaningful to everyone, but if you know your audience well, and if you publish content that they find meaningful, and they have all sorts of signals that are going to identify what they like in their newsfeed, then you should reach more people. So that's the case of getting like hyper focused on producing or sharing. It doesn't have to be your own content, really meaningful content for people that they'll want to read, that will make them want to click or view or interact with that content in some way. The second thing was informative. They also like content that's informative. So for people that do tutorials, for example, that's going to be good. A show like this, I do hope you find it informative, is kind of what they're looking for. Somebody that gives people valuable information that they're useful in. And again, that's down to a user base, because there's a whole lot of people out there that really don't care what happened in social media this week, that don't want to know that big thing that Instagram might be doing that's really exciting. That's a hook. So that's kind of cool. The second thing is, and this is kind of reiterating a lot of changes they put in place, be accurate and authentic, which basically means no clickbait. And we've seen the really dark side of clickbait this week with the Manchester bombings. There were people immediately sharing fake stories on Twitter, on Facebook, saying so-and-so is missing, and it wasn't even a real person. So we've seen how horribly that could be used. I think almost any time that we do something a little bit clickbaity, we're buying into that mentality, that way of thinking. So no, no, no. Facebook say no. And I think we all agree. Don't, and this is a really interesting one, because this is something most marketers, possibly even me from time to time, do. Don't game the feed. Don't do something just because you think it's going to get extra reach, extra engagement. So for example, last week you remember that they put a ban on those Facebook lives that were pre-recorded and were just asking people to vote on something. They were getting massive reach, but they weren't providing value to people. That is gaming the feed. All those people that just want to stream pre-recorded videos as live streams just to game the feed, you know who you are, because there are people doing that. There are good people doing that. That is gaming the feed. Facebook will crack down on it eventually. It's not going to reflect well on your business. And finally, they went into more detail about their community guidelines, basically saying that they can't take a stance one way or another on a political point of view or just a personal point of view. But what they can do is try and deliver the content that people are interested in reading in their feed. And we know this is where our filter bubbles come from. But, you know, they're looking at that from that perspective. And it's actually a really interesting read. So I've just summarised it there. It's going to take, you know, a good 10 minutes to read through it. But definitely take a look. We'll post a link as soon as I finish. So, one sip of coffee, if you don't mind. Anyone else with me? Now, I'm going to get you to vote early. While I talk about Medium, I will get you to vote on what you want to hear next. Do you want to hear Pinterest? Do you want to hear Snapchat? Do you want to hear Instagram? So that's a P for Pinterest, an S for Snapchat, and an I for Instagram. And while you vote on that, loads of thumbs ups. Tell me which one of those you would like to hear after I've talked about Medium. Because Medium, we've got an Instagram already. Medium, I think, is a really interesting story, and I don't think it's one you're going to vote for. So I'm going to go in with Medium. Anyone, give me a thumbs up or an emoticon. If you, oh, hi Mandy. That's an I for Instagram, is it? We've got 2 Instagrams so far. If you use Medium, if you know what Medium is even, as you may not. I have a Medium account, one for S. Hi Lucia, thanks for joining. An S for Snapchat. Oh, this is an Instagram versus Snapchat thing. Right, Medium is basically a blogging platform crossed with a social network. It's quite easy to set up. You can set one up in a couple of minutes. You can have it run it alongside your traditional blog. A lot of CEOs are using it kind of as their blog outside the corporate blog to showcase their personality. Hi Mandy, sorry, there's such a delay always on the comments. And it's kind of, I really enjoy it. It's taken off in a big way. There's a lot of users. I know they've had problems monetizing and they're looking at different revenue platforms. They do have a premium version that you can subscribe to, and it's a change to the premium version that I just want to tell you about. Now, top posts in the premium version, if you are viewing them, some top posts will have an audio version. And your initial thought is going to be, well, they've automated this in some way. It's going to sound like Siri, or it's going to sound like the guy or girl on my Google Maps. No, they've actually hired voiceover artists to read the posts, and then they put that at the top. Now, of course, I'm not a premium medium member, so I haven't been able to listen to this, but by all accounts, they're really good and they're professional. This is an interesting take. So one, it's giving value to medium users. Am I going to be able to subscribe to that like a podcast and listen to it in my car? If so, I think that could be really interesting. Like the one article, and I've got a screen grab of it that I found. It has to be a screen grab because I can't see it straight away. I wanted to read the article, and it's exactly the sort of podcast I'll listen to in my car when I won't want to listen to 100% social media. So you can see here, Nikola Tesla and the conspiracy against water-powered cars, and you can see right at the top they've got the audio version of that post, which is 34 minutes long. Perfect for listening to in my car. Now, bloggers have been doing this for a while. I know John Loomer used to do it. I know Ian Cleary used to do it. I haven't seen a lot of other people doing it. Of course, my podcast is almost an audio version of the blog as well. Is this a nod to podcasting? Is this recognizing the fact that podcasts are taking off in a big way? As bloggers, do we need to think about recording audio versions of all our posts if this is a thing that's going to take off? What do you think? Right, I've had 2 votes for Instagram and 1 for Snapchat. That just tells you everything, doesn't it? That tells you everything in this dun 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 Snapchat Instagram war. We're going to go with Instagram first though, which is good because I have 2 Instagram stories, so I can space them out. I can put Snapchat in the middle. Well, actually I have 3. There's one I'm just going to mention in passing. The first one is that when we started out on Instagram, we probably didn't take wonderful photos, apart from Mandy, who's a professional. But I know a lot of us didn't take great photographs. The big question has always been, should I leave those in my feed? Or should I just delete them? Well, now there's a third solution. So if you go and have a look at your business Instagram account, because I really don't think it matters for a person. If you go and look at your business Instagram account and go, oh my God, I can't believe I shared that, but I don't want to lose it forever. There is now an archive version. So you can actually archive photos, which will store them in Instagram for your viewing pleasure only, but takes it off that feed. And this is becoming more and more important, because you'll know that you're probably getting a lot of interaction on older posts now, because they're appearing, the way Instagram has gone with its algorithm, they're appearing to more people. You know, there's more interesting stuff going on, she says, as she desperately looks through her notes. Oh, it was the photo I wanted to show you. So I got this on my business account. I didn't log into my personal account, basically, because it's really hard to remember all the passwords and I haven't used it in ages. But this is where it is. Oh, come on, show me the picture. Here we go. At the top there, you can see that little roundy thing. If you click on that, that archives that will show you your archives. If you click on a photograph, you have the option to archive it. And I haven't archived anything yet because I'm quite proud of my Instagram feed, so but it is new on that account. But you can go and you can see all your archived photos. I think this is good. I haven't used it yet today, apart from right at the beginning when I did my little jingle thing. Well done, Instagram. Thank you. This is something we want. This is something we need. It's so nice when they do something like this and it's not something prohibitive, which in fairness, we've been getting a lot. I've been seeing a lot of chat online this week saying that Instagram reach has dropped, impressions have dropped, likes and interaction has dropped. I think this is partly to do with the ban on the automated bot tools that were like automatically commenting on stuff. So it's nice to see they've given us something back, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to talk about Snapchat now. Any snappers out there? Well, I snapped today. I think I only ever snap when there's a bit of Snapchat news, so I can test it out. This one's kind of cool. Let's just have a look at my beautifully drawn Snapchat logo. I think it's the best I've ever drawn. So let's take a moment to admire that. Nice one from Snapchat. So I better look at my notes so I remember what it is. They have got these things, shared stories. They call them custom stories. So now, if we all went on holiday together, we could have a shared story on Snapchat that we all shared our pictures to. So it would be like a combined story. They are kind of cool. So I set one up today called Cats. Kate, did you see that yet? I sent you a request to join my story. I want to see your cats. And basically I can involve other people in this cats story. So I could get other cat enthusiasts from around the world to post, and we'd have a lovely story about cats. It's kind of cool. Oh, I still haven't read what I'm supposed to tell you, so let me check. These stories will expire after 24 hours from the last contribution, and then the story is gone completely. It's not like you can go back to it later. So it's a bit, I think it will go down well with the kids who like their streaks. The idea would be, let's see how long we can keep this story going. I think it could work really well. So just to show you how it works then, I did screen grab it this morning, and of course I know it brought it in the wrong order. La la la. Okay, so when you go to share your story, don't share it directly to your story, click the arrow to go in, and then you see you've got options to add it to my story, to our story, and create story. When you click the create story button, it goes into, let me just make this full screen, new story. So I called mine Cats. You can geofence it. So you can make it so you can only add snaps from a particular location. So again, if you're on holiday with your friends, if you're at a conference, it could be great, just amazing for conferences. You can geofence it around a small location close to the conference. You can say who can add stories and who can view it. So what I did was, you can see only me there, so I clicked and I added Kate, but that means the only people that can view this story are me and Kate as well. You can't publicly see this story. So it's a really nice way to kind of collaborate with friends. You can also change who can view it to everyone. So again, for a conference, if you were at the conference, if you were running the conference, this would be a really good way to get a bit of buzz going around what you want. Big news, I am running an event in London, if anyone fancies coming, in July. This is something we might try out for that. It might get me back into Snapchat if I can find enough other snappers that are going to go. Okay, I think that's good. What do we think? Yay? Yay, love hearts, or boo-hoo? I'm going with a love heart. Okay, back onto track. Let's see what other stories I have, rather than just, we've got, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, all from Kate. Lots of thumbs up. I think this is going to be cool. Kate, go and show me a picture of your cat. Go on. Go on, you know you want to. Anyone else wants to join the Snapchat cat story, leave me a message. I'll add you. Okay, so that's Snapchat, just making sure I'm not missing anything important. Right, we'll go on to the second bit of Instagram news, and that is the updates to search. Has anyone looked in search in the past week? Because now, when you go, you have a cat, Laura. I don't know if we're connected on Snapchat. I don't go there very often enough, but do ping me on Snapchat and I'll add you to the story. And I'll follow you as well. But I never look at Snap. Anyway, do. We're all going to make Kate feature her cat more online because he looks cute. Okay, on to, what was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, Instagram search. Sorry, I got distracted. Cats will do that to you. Stories from location. So when you do a search on Instagram, you can search as, you may have even noticed, you don't even have to search, that right at the top of your screen when you go to Instagram where all the stories are, it'll bring, it brings kind of a collated story of all the I was going to say snaps. You see what happens when you mix the two up? All the bit parts of stories that were from a specific location. So I go in the morning, there's Kildare. When I click on that, I can see lots of snaps that were taken in Kildare and geotagged. So the people had specifically geotagged them as Kildare. So it's not showing me anything people didn't want to see. And what I found really interesting, firstly, when I clicked on that, was the amount of people sharing stuff from businesses. Gyms in particular. Come on, people. I feel guilty enough about not going to the gym. But this is why this is really good for business. So that comes automatically because it knows I live in Kildare and I can see people enjoying the local businesses around, and it means I am more likely maybe not to go to the gym, in fairness, but you know, coffee shops, restaurants, etc. So cool from that point of view. But you can also do a search. So soon I'm going on holiday to Florence. I can do a search for Florence and it will show me photographs, snaps, not snaps, Instagram stories that were based in Florence. So I'll get a good idea of the places I could go there. Can you see how big this could be for small businesses and tourism businesses? The search I did do was the one that everyone was doing, which is a little bit less interesting than Florence. So Florence is now on my list. But I did a search for New York. Let's see if we can find that. I don't know if I grabbed it now. No, I didn't switch my New York search over. But it's not just locations that you can find snaps from. No, I didn't grab that one. I don't know why. You can also do a hashtag search. And when you do a hashtag search, you'll see all the normal stuff that you would see in a hashtag search. But you also get stories at the top. And I did screen grab this one. What did I search for? Can you guess? Meow! Cats. So when I click into that story, it shows me a variety of photographs that have been hashtagged as cats, and that could just be a textual hashtag, so it's actually using that as part of the search, or you could use their hashtag sticker. So for example, here is the first Instagram story that I got relating to cats, and you can see at the bottom there they've added a sticker that says cats, and I can scroll through those, make myself feel happy. Then I thought, well, if that works, let's see if I can get featured in the Instagram story about cats. I don't know how popular I have to be on Instagram, but let's just say more popular than me. My lovely little video of Chomsky, like boomerang video of Chomsky washing her head, didn't do anything. But it's an interesting tactic. It could get us more reach. And like I say, huge for local businesses, because anytime somebody tags that they're in a specific location, that's going to come up. I think this will be an exciting one. Yes, I like cats. I like dogs too. Okay, I must be running out of time. I am running out of time. Oh no. So let's make sure I don't miss any news. There's something really cool. You may know I'm a little bit obsessed with chat bots. Twitter have just released something really interesting related to chatbots. Before, I've always thought of them as Facebook Messenger. I know you can get them on WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp. I think the Peg one from Sage works on Skype. But now you can get these, what they're calling interactive cards from Twitter, which send people option. I'm going to show you so it's less confusing. But basically it's a card and it will say, you know, what do you want to do? And it'll give you 3 options. You click one of those, it'll open a direct message chat with you and provide you with a really good solution. So the first one to appear, so the one that Twitter were boasting about, is one from Patron Tequila. So this is, I'm hoping we can get the brightness. Let me just touch the screen and see, does that help? Can we see that better now? So this is their ad, a little bit out of focus, and we can see at the bottom there are 3 options. It says, need a mixologist, meet our bot tenders. Does the word bot make anyone else snigger? Meet our bot tenders serving up simply perfect cocktails. Pick a summer moment to get started. And it offers you pool, party, cookout or mountain. And when you click one of those buttons, it opens up as a direct message. So I said cookout because, you know, it's lovely. So then it gives me a thing and I click the get started button. When I'm cooking on the grill, I like cocktails with more assertive, smoky or spicy flavours to go with the bold flavours of the food. Do you want to see some smoky, spicy or savoury cocktails or something else? And it signs off David. So even though it's a bot, these have been written by people. So I went, oh, spicy. I want to go with spicy. I went through and instantly offered me 3 cocktail recipes. Yeah, love this. And I'm sure they all have tequila in. Anyone else loving this? I'm excited about this. I'm excited about bots in general. I do think if you're going to create one, you have to be personal with it. You have to write those messages yourself. But straight away, that's giving me far more value than the regular ad that you would get on Twitter. Yes, these are promoted, but usually with cards, you can set them up and you can tweet them organically. They just expect you to get more traction if you boost them as well. Something I might try if ManyChat reaches out and starts doing Twitter as well. Okay, do you want to know that little bit of really exciting Instagram thing before I go on to the last story, so I don't rush it? Last night, Brian Vanzo, who some of you may know, he's an American dude who, dude because he's a dude, not because he's a guy, just he is a dude, launched a Instagram story saying that the option to add a link to your Instagram stories was now universal. It's not, because I went instantly and thought I'd try that. So this is a clickable link in an Instagram story, and it's like swipe up to access the link. This is something that verified accounts have had for ages, and they have rolled it out further. So you now don't have to have a verified account to have this option. I think the only verified account I follow is Gary V. So, you know, there's not a lot of verified accounts out there. I don't have it yet, but some people do, which means, I know, Marie, and as Karen, I don't know if Karen joined us today, as Karen from Kenmare Foodies said to me last night, this is it for Instagram stories, because this is something you currently cannot do within a Snapchat story. You can do it in a direct message, but not within a Snapchat story. Linking off site. Exciting, huh? If anyone gets it, do let me know. I will certainly be letting you know if I get this option. Isn't that cool? Right, I have one last little bit of news. It's the Pinterest news. I did seem to leave Pinterest to last. So much news this week that just bear with me while I fiddle with my iPad. Pinterest, I showed you a few weeks ago, if you were on the show then, I showed you that the cool Pinterest lens thing that I could take a picture of my kitchen and it would identify objects in the kitchen and then show me pins related to it. So it showed me pictures of ovens and microwaves, and which is really good for if you sell those things. Well, they've rolled this out now, and this is really cool, that if you're in a restaurant and you snap a picture of the dish that you're eating, it will try and identify similar dishes on Pinterest. And it's going to find recipes that you can try. So you can go, all right, here's that chocolate brownie that myself and Kate had last week. I forgot to do the rabbit ears. I'm sorry, everyone. The chocolate brownie we had last week, I can snap that and it will find recipes. And when I go home, I can try them out. You can also specify your preferences. So when you go there, you can say, well, gluten-free or vegetarian or vegan or whatever, and it'll only deliver you recipes along that line. Why is this so brilliant? Well, it's brilliant for food bloggers, restaurants, anyone that puts up recipes online. And if you are in the food business, I'm sorry, you think they're secret recipes, you need to put recipes up. It's going to draw people into your site. You need now to be using Pinterest, because when somebody is somewhere, it is your pin that is going to come up in their searches. I think Pinterest are doing so much interesting search stuff at the moment. In fact, so much interesting search stuff that Facebook are never going to eat them. But Google are trying, because they launched their lens product this week. It's going to be really interesting to see how that pans out. Right, that's all. It isn't actually actually all the news for this week, but that's all I figured I could fit into half an hour, and I am on my half an hour thing. If you enjoyed this show and you think this information would be useful to other people you know, please click the share button. Share it in your Facebook pages, in your Facebook groups, on your profile, by direct message. You can tweet it, you can share it on LinkedIn, but I'd love it if you could do that for me. Thanks so much for joining. I shall see you back here next week. Goodbye.